Hello and welcome to Junk Journal January UK. Today is actually day 10, but I'm a couple of days behind due to work commitments, so I'm actually done day 7. So this is the Winter Woodland collection and it's designed by Sandra from Happy Stationery in conjunction with Crafting Dragon Designs, and you can buy this beautiful kit from Sandra's Ko-fi and I believe her Etsy shop. I'll put the links before. So it's Happy Stationery digital kit and it's Winter Wonderland, and it's also in conjunction the whole of Junk Journal January UK with Vintage button. So join me to see how I made this beautiful snowflake. Let's just wind it, then you can see it spin. Woo! There we go, on this page too. I'm going to put some more stamped snowflakes on this page. I just feel I need some more around here. But join me and let's see how this beautiful snowflake was made. Thank you for watching. Okay, so I've got some antique music score here. The reason I'm using this is because this paper is very, very flimsy. And it's the nearest to white that I've got in flimsy paper. So I've got two, because I want a front and a back, but I do want them to be exactly the same. So I'm going to fold in half. My bone folder is being used for something else. I'm just using my ruler at the moment. So I folded it once. I'll fold it again. Get some nice tight folds in there. Let's fold it. Can we fold it again, do you think? No, not to what I need. Let's fold it over to, so I'm going to fold it from the corner and across to there and just flatten that down. Right, scissors, I'll cut that off. Right, so there is the centre, that's where my folded point is. So I am now going to cut a rounded sort of shape out, snowflake shape. And within the top there, I'm going to make some little indentation, little cut indentations. I'm in a screen, aren't I? Do you remember doing this at primary school? I loved doing this. Some of you may have done it at primary school, you may have done it with your parents, you may have done it with a grandparent or carer, whoever. So I always remember my teacher told us that every snowflake was different, and I always wondered, how do we know that? Who discovered that every snowflake was different? So if you're a scientist, can you tell me how we know? I'm going to cut a tiny bit off in the middle there for the centre of the snowflake, and then I'm going to make cut some indentations in here. I know that when we made them in class like this and then we stuck them on the window, everybody's was different because you all cut differently, don't you? Now whatever you do, do not cut your way through all of this spine, or else it won't hold together like you'd want it to, like you'd expect it to. So that is there. You need some good sharp scissors and you need patience. Let's do a little tiny cut there. I remember watching my teacher doing this and then thinking, wow, that is absolutely amazing. Small things, little tiny cut. Be careful you don't cut right the way through to the other side. Right, let's come to the other side and do some cuts again. We'll have a little cut here, a little cut. So are we all watching Traitors UK? I love that programme, love it. Right, so that's one cut there. I'm going to do another quite let's take it up there and there. And then, can I manage a tiny cut here? What do you think? Oh, tiny cut. There we go. I'm excited to open this up. What we're going to do with it, I'll show you. I will show you. Well, you will have seen it at the beginning of the video. However, it's still magical to see this unfolding. So then you unfold, and there you go. Woohoo! You've got a rather beautiful, let's unfold it again, you've got two identical beautiful snowflakes. So that looks like that. So let's just put it against a colour, then you can see it better. So what we're going to do now, so we need to note that this is the back. So I'm going to put a little tiny dot on there so I know that that's the back. And then that is the back of the other one. So I'm going to put a dot on there. So these two sides now, I am going to get my embossing powders and we'll be back very, very soon. Okay, so this is where we build up our layers of embossing powders. Don't look at the colour of that. I know I use these so much. I'm just putting a few dibs and dabs around. I love to layer up my embossing powders, so that's how I end up with a dirty embossing pad. So I'm going to start off here with this embossing powder Personal Impressions Violet. So let's scatter that on. Take it off. So I'm left with a little bit on there. And put that back straight away into my pot. And get my blower and let's heat those up. Now this is going to get really, really hot, so let's just do one at a time, like this, and let's get on with heating it up. There we go, they're both done. So let's go back on with the Versamark. Now it doesn't matter if you layer up your embossing powders, it doesn't matter, as long as you dry them in between each, dry them in between each layer, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use the embossing powder silver. This is the Heat It Up embossing powder silver. Because when you do see a snowflake, they are sort of silver, blue, white, all colours, aren't they? Shiny, shiny colours. Let's put the lid on that and get the embossing gun. Get my scissors just to hold them down because this gets really, really hot. And let's go again. Can you see there the blue, the silver on top of the blue? How the effect that it adds, it doesn't matter, like I said, that you're layering them up. They just bubble away there. But what a pretty, how pretty are they starting to look? I'll just turn off a moment and finish this one off. Those are done. Looking pretty, aren't they? So I'm going to put some more Versamark on now. Let's just see what comes up next. So next I have got embossing powder holographic. Whoops. Oh, sorry. I nudged the camera then. Let's go over again. So all these layers, and you can go back if you wanted to add a bit more blue. Back on again, add a bit more blue. I love watching Seth Apter. He, I think he's a master of. I've lost a bit of my thing there. He's a master of using embossing powders, and he actually sort of made me more courageous actually about layering up the embossing myself. Right, I'm just going to use the gun again. Bear with me a moment. I think these are turning out really lovely now. Now, if you lose a little bit like I have there, don't worry about it. We will sort that out. Afterwards, I'll show you how to do that. Right, I'm going to put another layer on. Top layer now of, what's this one called? This is called White Opal, and it's by Happy Crafts. It's my latest winter sort of favourite, this one. Let's sprinkle this on. And it doesn't matter if you sprinkle on lots and lots like that, because you're going to tip it all back into your container. Doesn't matter if you don't get 100% coverage with the paper that I've used being virtually white. My base paper, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you lose bits as you go along, but this stuff, I've had some of these years. They just seem to last and last. Right, I'm just going to blast them again with the heat gun. Bear with me 1 minute. Okay, so I've got a length of white crochet cotton now, and what I need to do is to turn these over, well, one of them over, cover it with my glue, and I'm using a dry glue. It's just my Pritt stick, and I'm doing it on parchment paper because it's non-stick. So I'm going to do that. Then I've got some crochet cotton, which I'm just gonna, a length of crochet cotton, I'm just gonna double it, and I'm gonna lay that over, stick that onto there, put a bit more glue over it. Now here's the tricky bit. I now need to line this one up exactly onto the back of there, and I think I've been really lucky with that, to line that up and to stick that on. Let's just do a little bit of twisting around to line everything up, so I'll get my holes and things in matching places as best that I can. There we go. I think that is looking very positive. Now, do you remember this bit at the back, and I said, oh, I've lost a bit? Well, now, because we've got the back of the other snowflake on it, we can just recover the lost bit with some Versamark. Right, we'll just go over it. We'll just do it. We'll just do each side again. Just go over each side. Like I say, don't be frightened if I'm going to put some of the holographic on. I'm going to put some on this side. And I'm going to put some on this side. And let's tip that back into the bottle. Ooh, I love mess. I love mixed media. Everything just gets so messy. And I'm just going to now turn off because I'm going to blast it again with the heat gun. And there we have my snowflake on its piece of cotton. So what I need to do now is insert this into my book. So let's make a little bit of space. Literally just move things back. Oops, let's get my journal. I've already selected my 2 pages where I want this snowflake to hang. So what I need to do, I need to cut a circle in there and there to hang this snowflake in between. So I'm just going to get my cutter and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so circle cutter disappeared, so I had to draw a circle and cut it out myself. And I'm really actually quite impressed. I'm actually quite impressed with myself because I'm not normally very good at cutting out circles. So I'm just looking for my green. I'm just going to go around the edge here. In fact, there's a little bit of black there. Let's cut that off. As I put it on the white, then I noticed there's a little bit there. Oh, do you know, I'm trying to cut it off. I'm absolutely frightened to cut it off. Now I'm going around that one with green. Going around the other side with green because I put the 2 pieces together. What can I do about the little bit of black there? I need to cut it off. I need to be brave and cut it off. I always say the best cutter I've ever seen is Lorry Girl on the Ridge. I think that is the best I am going to be able to achieve. In fact, I could, and I will. Do you know what I've thought? I'm going to put some of this around. It's called thinking on your feet. I'm going to put the Versamark, dot it around the edge like that. I'm going to sprinkle this is the, oh no, let's use the holograph one. I like the holograph one. Well, I like them all, but let's put the holograph on. We're doing snowflakes, so hey ho. So that hopefully should hide the black mark. Because I used a pen, didn't I, not a pencil, like you do. I have this parchment paper just about everywhere in my craft room. I'll just heat it up with this, so bear with me a moment. So I decided to put a bit of the violet blue on as well, just to sort of border it. I thought it would look nice. Right, so now I need to just bring my pieces of paper apart, put some glue on them. So let's get some Elmer's glue, you know, the good old school glue. Put this on. And this is the reason why you need 2 pieces. Where is my snowflake? So glue's on. Here's my snowflake. So I'm going to put that in the middle of my circle. There. Oops, let's just move it up a little bit. There it goes. And I'm going to put some more glue over that cotton. Pulling it tight. Then we do achieve the desired effect. And then my circle on top of that circle. There we go. That page on top of that page. Whoop. Pull that tight again. There it is. So therefore now I've got my 2 pages, and that snowflake dangles at the minute rather precariously because it's gluing. Let's pull that tight again. Let's allow that to dry, and then I will be back to show you how it looks. So here we are, there is my finished snowflake sitting tidily. Let's cut them a couple pieces off there. We don't need, I do like threads, but it's a little bit too much. So yeah, there's my snowflake dangling away inside that page. Really pleased with that. I've just stitched around the edge of the page and stitched around the circle as well, and there's the snowflake, the embossed snowflake. Took me right back to my childhood. Good fun and great to have dangling there inside what is number 3. In fact, I bet it will spin. If we blow it, it would spin. I'll wind it, then it will unwind, won't it? So there we go. So inside number 3 signature is snowflake, which is day, let's have a look, day 7 of Junk Journal January UK. How pretty does that look? So thank you so much for watching, and hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you.